Good morning, guys. Let us continue with the discussion of objective questions. I think in the last class we have discussed up to 56th question of the level 1, and we'll continue with the next question, that is 57th question of the level 1. Right? Look at the question. If 5 ml of methane is completely burned, the volume of oxygen required and volume of carbon dioxide formed under the same conditions are. Right? It's talking about the combustion of methane. Right? When methane is burned in presence of air, it will be converted into carbon dioxide plus water vapor. Right? So here, what is the balanced equation here? 1 mole of methane requires 2 moles of oxygen, which gives 1 mole of carbon dioxide and 2 moles of water. So what is the molar ratio of reaction of methane and oxygen? 1:2 ratio. And what is the ratio of product with respect to the reactant? With respect to methane, if you are talking 1:1 ratio of carbon dioxide will be formed. So in the question is saying that when 5 ml of that methane is burned in presence of oxygen, right? How many mls of oxygen is required? If 1 mole requires 2 moles, 5 ml will require 10 ml. Right? Now, how many ml of carbon dioxide will be formed? What is the molar ratio of methane and carbon dioxide? 1:1 ratio. If 5 ml of methane is undergoing combustion, how many ml of carbon dioxide will be produced? 5 ml. So, what he is asking? He is asking the volume of oxygen required and the volume of carbon dioxide formed. So, 10 ml of oxygen is required for the combustion of 5 ml of methane, and how many ml of carbon dioxide will be formed? 5 ml of carbon dioxide will be formed. Right? This is a question from the stoichiometric. Right? From balanced equation we are evaluating the data. Right? Here, the correct answer for this will be the second one. 10 ml of oxygen is required for the combustion of 5 ml of methane, and which also gives 5 ml of carbon dioxide on the combustion. Right? Now, if we look at the next question. If 0.5 moles of barium chloride is mixed with 0.2 moles of sodium phosphate, the maximum number of moles of barium phosphate formed are. Let's try to write the equation of the reaction between barium chloride and sodium phosphate. Basically, what happens when Na3PO4, this is sodium phosphate, and reaction with barium chloride, it forms barium phosphate. It forms. The formula of the barium phosphate is, right, B3PO4 taken twice plus NaCl it forms. Now, what is the balanced equation here? 3 moles of barium chloride will react with 2 moles of sodium phosphate, which gives 6 moles of sodium chloride. 1 mole of barium phosphate as well as this is we call barium phosphate. What we call it as? Barium phosphate we call it as. Right? So what he is asking here, he said that how many moles? 0.5 moles of NaCl, BaCl2 and is reacting with 0.2 moles of. Right? So what is the limiting reagent here? If 2 moles requires 3 moles, 0.2 moles require how much? Right? So which is the limiting reagent here? Which is the limiting reagent here? Limiting reagent is here is what it is? Na2PO3. Right? Limiting reagent is, this is limiting reagent and this is, what is this? This is excess reagent. So from this what we can say? From the balanced equation you can say that, right? If it required 2 moles requires 3 moles, 0.2 moles required 0.3 only. Right? Which is limiting the product formation Na2PO3, sodium phosphate is it. So from this what we can say? If 2 moles right? If 2 moles of Na2PO3, Na3PO4 gives 1 mole of what is this? Ba3PO4 taken twice. Then 0.2 moles of sodium phosphate will give how many moles of Na2PO3? Right? So what you get? It will be 0.2 into 1 upon 2, which comes to be what? 0.1 it is. Right? How many moles it will form? 0.1 moles of barium phosphate will be formed. So in this type of reactions, first of all you need to identify the limiting reagent. Once you identify the limiting reagent, from the stoichiometric relation of the limiting reagent to the product, you can find out the number of moles of the product formed. Right. Let's go for the next question. 23 grams of sodium will react with ethyl alcohol to give, right, 1 mole of H2 or half mole of H2 or 1 mole of O2 or 1 mole of NaOH. First of all, let us try to see the reaction between ethyl alcohol. Ethyl alcohol is CH3CH2O. H is called as ethyl alcohol. What is meant by 23 grams of sodium? 1 mole of sodium, right? The molar mass of sodium is 23 grams, right? That means 1 mole of sodium. Generally, what happens? It replaces hydrogen from ethyl alcohol. So, since you are talking about 23 grams, so that means only 1 mole. 1 mole of ethyl alcohol reacts with 1 mole of, right, sodium, right? 1 mole, why we are saying 1 mole? 23 grams. 23 grams means, right, molar mass of sodium. So that it will be 1 mole. So, how many moles of hydrogen gas will be liberated? Half mole of hydrogen gas will be liberated. Suppose if you take 46 grams of sodium, you will get 1 mole of hydrogen, right? Because sodium is more reactive than hydrogen. Whenever you are treating alcohols with sodium, what happens? Sodium will replace hydrogen. This hydrogen will be liberated in the form of hydrogen gas, right? So when you are treating 23 grams of sodium with ethyl alcohol, it liberates half mole of hydrogen gas. Answer will be 2. Now this makes the completion of level 1 questions. So let us move to the level 2. Here comes the first question of level 2. Two students X and Y report the weight of some substance as 5.0 grams and 5.00 grams respectively. Which of the following statement is correct? You said that two students are weighing some substance, X and Y. So X got weight. X has reported the weight as 5. X has reported, he has reported as 5.0 grams, whereas Y has reported 5.00 grams. Does it make any difference? Of course, it makes the difference. Here, if you are talking about number of significant figures, how many number of significant figures are there? 2 number of significant figures are there. How many number of significant figures are there? 3. So this particular form of representation has 3 significant figures, whereas it has only 2 significant figures. As we know that from the rules of significant figures, tailing zeros are significant, or zeros placed to the right side the decimal point, right, which are followed by a non-zero digit are significant. So from this, what we can say, both are equally accurate. No, X is more accurate than Y. It is also incorrect. Y is more accurate than X. Why is more accurate than X? Because Y is having more number of significant figures. Right? Generally, the experimental values which are reported with the more number of significant figures are considered to be more accurate. Given the numbers 161 centimeters, 0.161 centimeters, 0.0161 centimeters, now number of significant figures for the 3 numbers. Is asking the number of significant figures in all these 3 numbers. How many significant figures are there in 3? And how many significant figures are there in the 0.161? Here also 3, because leading zeros are non-significant. And here 0.0161, here also 3. So the number of significant figures in all these numbers is 3. Right? And here comes our next question. The oxides of nitrogen contains 63.65% and 46.69% and 30.46% of nitrogen respectively. The data illustrate that law. Basically, he is talking about the oxides of nitrogen. What is mean by oxides of nitrogen? Compounds formed by nitrogen and oxygen. Nitrogen and oxygen will form different compounds, something like this. So, as he is talking about the percentage of nitrogen, it is bearing a simple ratio of percentage of nitrogen. So it generally indicates law of multiple proportion. What is law of multiple proportion? Law of multiple proportion says that when two elements are combined to form more than two or more than two compounds, the mass of one element which combines with the fixed mass of other element will always bear a simple whole number ratio by its mass. That is called law of multiple proportion. It's a direct question. It is also the similar sort of question. The following data are available. Percentage of magnesium in magnesium oxide and magnesium chloride, percentage of carbon in carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide, percentage of chromium in chromium dichromate and potassium chromate, right? Percentage of copper isotopes in copper metal. The law of multiple proportion will be illustrated by the data. Which of the following follows the law of multiple proportion is asking. Generally, what is law of multiple proportion? When two elements combine to give two or more than two compounds, the mass of one element that is combining with the fixed mass of other element will be a simple whole number ratio. So, in all these compounds, you see here these are the two compounds which are formed by different elements, not two elements. Here it is formed by magnesium and oxygen, but it is formed by magnesium and chlorine. It cannot be illustrated as law of multiple proportion, right? Here if you see this second one is illustrating the law of multiple proportion, right? Carbon. Right, with 12 grams of carbon, here 16 grams of oxygen, and here 32 grams of oxygen. The second compound is illustrating the law of multiple proportion. Here, the third compound is not illustrating because it is not formed by two elements, it is formed by three elements, and the ratio is very different. So, what we can see here, only it is talking about the isotopes, not any compound. Generally, these rules are applicable for compounds. So, from this, what we can say, the law of multiple proportion will be illustrated, right? For second compound, that is only for second. The density of water is 1 gram per ml. The volume of water drop is 1.8 ml. The number of molecules present in one water drop are. Right? See, actually he has given density of water drop. How much he has given? 1 gram per ml. He has also given the value. How much he has given? 1.1 ml it is. And what he is asking? Number of molecules present in water drop is asking. For that you need to calculate the number of moles of water. Right? If you want to calculate the number of moles, you need to calculate the mass. Mass of the water drop is, what is this? Density into value. How much it comes? Density is how much it is? 1 gram per mole, and what is this? 1.8 ml. ml gets cancelled, it comes 1.8 grams. Right? So from this, what is the number of moles of water here? So number of moles of water basically is asking us to calculate the number of molecules. What is number of molecules? Number of water molecules will be equal to, right, number of moles into Avogadro number. Right? How to calculate the number of moles? Number of moles will be mass upon molar mass into Avogadro number. Right? What he has given? The mass is 1.8 and the molar mass of water is 18. So what it comes? Avogadro number. Right? Let me write the number also. What is this? 6.023 into 10 power, right? 23. This comes 0.1 into 6.023 into 10 power 23, which can also be written as, right, 6.023 into 10 power 22. So how many number of molecules are present in, right, the water drop which is having 1 gram per ml density and 1.8 ml value, it is found to be 6.023 into 10 power 22 molecules. This is the number of water molecules are present in one water drop. Increasing order of number of moles of the species. So he has given certain species. What are the species given? 3 grams of nitric oxide, 8.5 grams of phosphine, and 8 grams of methane, asking us to identify the increasing order of number. So for that we need to calculate the number of moles of nitric oxide. How to calculate the number of moles? Mass in grams upon molar mass. So basically calculate the number of moles. What is the mass of nitric oxide given? 3 grams. What is the molar mass of nitric oxide? Nitrogen is 14 and oxygen is 16. That means it comes to be 30. Right? So basically he is asking us to calculate the number of moles, not number of molecules. So no problem. How many number of moles it comes? It comes 0.1 moles. Right? Number of moles of what is this? The number of moles of phosphine is asking. Right? pH. How many grams he has given? 8.5. Right? What is the molar mass? Phosphorus 31 and hydrogen is 1. 3 hydrogen means 34 units. How much it comes? It comes 1 by 4 units. Right? So nothing but how many? 0.25 moles. And what about the next one? 8 grams of methane. Right? What is the molar mass of methane? 60. It becomes 1 by 2, which means 0.5 moles. So what is the increasing order of number of moles of given substances? That is increasing order. One is least number of moles, 0.1 moles, followed by second 0.25 moles, followed by third one, that is 0.5 moles. Right? This is the number of moles of what is this? Nitric oxide. This is the number of moles of phosphine. Number of moles of phosphine. This is the number of moles of methane. So what is the first option? As is asking the increasing order, the first option itself is the correct option. How many moles of magnesium phosphate will contain 0.25 moles of oxygen atoms? Right? Try to understand the question. He is asking how many moles of magnesium phosphate will contain 0.25 moles of oxygen. Right? What is the formula of magnesium phosphate? Mg3PO4 taken twice. So here basically 1 mole of magnesium phosphate contains how many moles of oxygen? Contains C. In the phosphate there are 4 oxygens. How many phosphates we have taken? 2 4s are right? 8 it is. It contains 8 moles of oxygen. 1 mole of magnesium phosphate contains right 8 moles of oxygen. What he is asking? How many moles of magnesium phosphate will contain 0.25 moles of oxygen? So it's just a cross multiplication. What is this? It will be equal to 0.25 upon 8, which will comes to be equal to 0.03125 moles, which can also be written as 3.125 into 10 power minus 2 moles. So what is the answer? The first answer is correct. Are you getting this? 1 mole of magnesium phosphate contains 8 moles, then 0.25 moles will be present in 3.125 to 10 power minus 2 moles of magnesium phosphate. Hope it is clear. The number of moles, the number of electrons in 1.8 grams of water are number of electrons in 1.8 grams of water is asking. What is the formula to calculate the number of electrons? Number of electrons in a given substance is equal to right, number of moles of this substance into number of electrons in one molecule of compound into Avogadro number. This is the formula to calculate the number of electrons. So how to calculate the number of moles? Mass upon molar mass. What is the mass given? 1.8 grams. Right? What is the molar mass of water? 18. So how many electrons are there present in one molecule of water? One molecule of water contains 10 electrons. How 10 electrons? See, what is the formula? H2O. How many electrons will be there in oxygen? 8. And each hydrogen carries 1 electron. So total number of electrons will be 10 electrons. So number of electrons in one water molecule will be 10. Into what is Avogadro number? 6.023 into 10 power 20. So on simplification, how much it comes? right? It comes 6.02 into 10 power 23 grams, right? So what will be the answer? The first answer itself is correct. Hope it is clear. An oxide of nitrogen has molecular weight 92. Find the total number of electrons in 1 gram mole of oxide. It's talking about the oxide of nitrogen. And what is given? He has given a molecular formula of that oxide. Basically, nitrogen forms different oxides such as nitrous oxide, nitric oxide, nitrogen dioxide, right? N2O3, N2O4, N2O5. Among all these oxides, which oxide is talking about? Specifically about one oxide which is having molecular mass 92. Which of the following will contain 92 molecular mass? See, this one will contain 92 molecular mass, right? How we know that? Here 2 nitrogen atoms plus 4 oxygen atoms. 28 plus how much it comes? 64 it comes, right? So which comes to be 98, right? Sorry, 92. So he is talking about the oxide of nitrogen having molecular mass 92 is, what is this? N2O4, dinitrogen tetroxide. So what he is asking? Find out the number of electrons in 1 gram molecule. What is mean by 1 gram molecule? 1 mole. So number of electrons right equal to, right, number of moles into, what is this? Number of moles into number of electrons in 1 molecule into Avogadro number. So to find out the number of moles, he said 1 gram molecule. What is mean by 1 gram molecule? 92 by 92 into how many electrons are there in 1 molecule of 4? N2O4. See, number of electrons in 1 molecule of 4 N2O4 is that. See, nitrogen will contain 7 electrons. How many nitrogens are there? 2. Right? Plus oxygen will contain how many electrons? 8 electrons. How many oxygens are there? 4. So how much it comes? It comes to be 14 plus what is this? It comes to be 32. So total 46 electrons are present in 1 molecule of, right, N2O4. So 42 into N0. So how much it comes? It comes 46 N0. That is 46 moles of electrons will be present in 1 gram molecule of dinitrogen tetroxide. So where we have done, this will be the answer. Where N stands for Avogadro number. Let us go for the next question. The number of moles of water in 488.6 grams of barium chloride bihydrate are. Molecular weight of barium chloride bihydrate is given. That is 224.33 grams per mole. See what he is asking. He is asking about number of moles of water molecules. Water molecules in 488.6 grams of barium chloride bihydrate. So for this, first of all, you need to calculate the number of moles of barium chloride bihydrate. How to calculate this? At mass upon molar mass. Mass is given, molar mass is also given. What is the mass? 488.6. What is the molar mass given? 224.3, which comes to be 2. That means number of moles of barium chloride bihydrate are 2. Generally, from the looking at the formula, we can say that 1 molecule or 1 mole of barium chloride bihydrate contains how many moles? 2 moles of water molecule. So 2 moles of barium chloride contains how many? 4 moles of water molecule. So number of moles of water in 488.6 grams of barium chloride bihydrate is how much it is? 4 moles of water molecule will be present. Right? Simply as given a mass and molar mass, from that we have calculated the number of moles of barium chloride bihydrate. From that, if 1 mole contains 2 moles, 2 moles will contain 4 moles. When a sample of baking soda is strongly ignited in a crucible, it suffered a loss in weight of 3.1 grams. The mass of baking soda is. Right? The mass of baking soda is. Let us see, first of all, let us try to write the reaction. What is baking soda? Sodium hydrogen carbonate is called as baking soda. Generally, whenever you heat this baking soda, it will convert into sodium carbonate with the loss of water plus what is this? Carbon dioxide. Right? Water vapor as well as carbon dioxide vapor will be. So, from the balanced equation, what we can say? So, what is the molar mass of sodium hydrogen carbonate? This is called baking soda. Right? Sodium is 23, hydrogen is 124, plus carbon is 12 and oxygen is 28. Molar mass of NaHCO3 is 23 plus 1 plus 12 plus 48. How much it comes? It comes 60 plus 84 it comes. How much it comes? 84 it comes. Yeah. So how many? Here 2 into, how many molecules are taken? 2 into 84 grams. That is 168 grams. In other words, what we can say? 168 grams of sodium carbonate are heating. It loses how many grams? 1 mole of this is 44 grams of what is lost here? Carbon dioxide. What is lost in the form of mass? So here 18 grams of what is this? So these together, how much it comes? So 44 plus 18 will come about 64. 64 grams will be lost when 168 grams of sodium hydrogen carbonate is heated. So what is said? If 3.1 grams is lost, how many grams of sodium hydrogen carbonate might be heated? So this is what you need to find out. If 168 grams loses 64 grams, then 3.1 gram must be lost by. So it's just a cross multiplication. If you do this cross multiplication, there is 168 into 3.1 upon 64. This comes to be 8.4 grams it comes. Right? If you simplify this, it comes around 8.4 grams. The answer will be. This is also a stoichiometric calculation. Right? Basically, from the balanced equation, you need to find out right, how many moles of 2 moles will give 1 mole of carbon dioxide, 1 mole of water vapor. So that is the mass of 2 moles of sodium carbonate is 168 grams. So 168 grams will lose 64 grams. Right? If 168 grams is losing 64 grams, then 3.1 grams must have been lost by 8.4 grams of sodium hydrogen carbonate. Right? Hope it is clear. Study the following table which 2 compounds have least weight of oxygen, molecular weight of the compounds are given in a bracket. Right? C is given 4 compounds: carbon dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, hydrogen peroxide, sulfur dioxide. Asking us to identify the 2 compounds which are having least percentage of oxygen. So, by looking at the question itself, we can answer this, because see, in all the compounds the number of oxygens are kept constant, and so if you see the mass of the atom which is combining with the 2 atoms of oxygen, if this mass is less, the percentage of oxygen is more. If the mass of the other atom is more, the percentage of oxygen will be less. You can do either by the mole concept or by simply looking at this. See, 12 grams of, here 32 grams of oxygen is combining with 12 grams of carbon, right? Whereas here 32 grams of oxygen is combined with 14 grams of nitrogen. Right? 32 grams of oxygen is combined with 2 grams of nitrogen, and 32 grams of oxygen is combined with 32 grams of sulfur. So lower the atomic mass of the other element combined with the two atoms of oxygen, higher will be the percentage. So which two compounds, in which two compounds the mass of the atom is higher? Here it will be nitrogen. If you are asking which of the compound having highest percentage, that will be the hydrogen peroxide followed by carbon. So if it is asked two compounds which are having least percentage, that will be nitrogen dioxide as well as sulfur dioxide. Because your mass will be 14 grams, your mass will be 16 grams. Higher the mass of the other element which is combining with the 32 grams of oxygen, lower will be percentage mass of the oxygen. Or otherwise you can also derivate from mole concept if you have if you want to verify it. Right? But by directly looking at, so in an exam we need to save the time also. So questions like this can be easily answered by interpreting the data given properly. Right? Answer will be the first. A compound contains 28% of nitrogen and 72% of metal bimetal. 3 atoms of metal combines with 2 atoms of nitrogen with the atomic weight of the metal is. Right? He said that he has given the percentage mass of nitrogen as well as metal as well as he has given the information regarding the number of atoms of metal and nitrogen in the compound. That means he said that he has given the percentage of nitrogen is given how much? 28. Percentage of metal is given at 72. Right? If you assume that the molar mass of the compound is 100, so what is it? 2 nitrogen atoms and 3 metal atoms are present in the compound. So that what we can assume, let us assume, we can assume if you are taking molar mass as 100, so what is the formula is saying that there are 2 nitrogen atoms plus 3 metal atoms having a molecular weight of 100. If we are talking in terms of percentage, right, it will become, we can also take mass as. So what is the mass of 2 nitrogen atoms? We don't know the mass of metal. That is what we have to calculate. So it comes to be 28 plus 3 metal atoms equal to 100. So from this 3 metal atoms will come equal to be, how much it is? 72. From this metal will come to be 72 upon 3, which comes to be 24. So what is the metal that is present in the compound? The metal is 24. Mass of the metal is 24. Generally, which is the metal? What is the metal that is having mass 24? It's magnesium. So what is the compound formula? Mg3 N2 is talking. Generally, if you are writing in terms of metal, it will be M3 N2. Since the metal is having 24 units of mass, it basically indicates the magnesium. So the molecular formula of the compound becomes Mg3N2. It is talking about the compound called magnesium nitrate. What is the mass of the metal? 24. What is it? 18.4 grams of the mixture of calcium carbonate and magnesium carbonate on heating gives 4.0 grams of magnesium oxide. The volume of carbon dioxide produced at STP in this process is. First of all, try to understand. He is talking about the mixture of what is this? Calcium carbonate and magnesium carbonate. This mixture, right? On heating, he said that it gives what it gives mixture of calcium oxide and magnesium oxide plus 2 moles of carbon dioxide will be given. Right? If you are taking the mixture, right? He has given the. So basically, see what is the. If you are trying to write a balanced equation between these two, so 1 mole of each calcium oxide and magnesium oxide and heating gives 1 mole of calcium oxide and 1 mole of each calcium carbonate and magnesium carbonate gives 1 mole of each calcium oxide, magnesium oxide plus 2 moles of carbon dioxide. So what is the mass of this mixture? Here the mass of calcium carbonate is 100 and the mass of magnesium carbonate is it will be 60 plus 24, it will be 84. Right? That means it comes to be 184 grams. 184 grams of the compound is generally giving 2 moles of carbon dioxide. Or otherwise you can also calculate the number of moles of the mixture. What is the number of moles of the mixture? What is the mass given? 18.4. So what is the molar mass here? 184. So the number of moles are how much it is? 0.1 moles. So from the balanced equation what we can say, if 1 mole of mixture, 1 mole of mixture of CuCO3 and MgCO3 gives 2 moles of carbon dioxide, right? Then 0.1 mole will give how many moles of carbon dioxide? 0.2 moles. How to calculate the volume of carbon dioxide produced? Volume of carbon dioxide produced will be equal to number of moles into 22.4 liters at STP. Right? So from this what we can calculate? Volume of carbon dioxide will be 0.2 into 22.4, which comes to be 4.48 liters. Are you getting? What will be the answer? 4.48 liters. Have calculated the number of moles of mixture by given the mass of the mixture. Mass of the mixture is given 8.4 grams. So I calculated the molar mass of the mixture. Right? So number of moles of the mixture comes to be 0.1 moles. If the 0.1 moles of mixture is undergoing thermal decomposition, right? 0.2 moles of carbon dioxide will be produced. Since 1 mole of the mixture gives 2 moles of the carbon dioxide. If 2 moles of 0.2 moles of carbon dioxide is produced, what will be the volume of it STP? Number of moles into volume of molar gas at STP, that is 22.4 liters, which comes to be 4.48 liters. Forty ml of hydrocarbon undergo combustion in 260 ml of oxygen and gives 160 ml of carbon dioxide. If all gases are measured under similar conditions of temperature and pressure, the formula of the hydrocarbon is. So it's talking about the combustion of an hydrocarbon. General equation of combustion of hydrocarbon is that CxHy plus X plus Y upon 4 moles of oxygen gives X moles of carbon dioxide plus Y by 2 moles of H2O. Right? See, what is said? From this we have to determine the X and Y. What are X and Y? So let us see about the X. Right? Basically, he said that how many ml of hydrocarbon is undergoing reaction? 40 ml. How many ml of carbon dioxide given? 160 ml. From this you can calculate the value of X. Right? Volume of hydrocarbon is how much he has given? 40 ml. Volume of carbon dioxide produced is given 160 ml. And volume of oxygen required he has given 260 ml. So from this, what is X? X will be equal to 60 upon 40. Are you getting this? If, right, CxHy on combustion with X plus Y by 4 oxygen molecules gives X moles of carbon dioxide. Number of carbon dioxide produced will be equal to X. Right? It comes to be 4. The value of X comes to be 4. And we know that here this X plus Y by 4 is equal to 26 by 4. How? Since here value produced is given, right? 260 ml of oxygen being utilized by, right, 40 ml of hydrocarbon, so which comes to be, right, by 4 it comes. So from this what we can calculate? We have already calculated the value of X. From this, what is X value of 4? If you put the value of X here, what it comes? It comes Y by 4 is equal to, how much it comes? It comes 10 by 4, right? From this y will be equal to, I'm directly writing the equation, it comes to be 10. So what is the formula of the compound? X value has come 4 and y value has come 10. The formula will become C4H2. Right? This is the general equation for the combustion of hydrocarbon. So what is the formula here? C4H2 is the formula. This is how you have to calculate it. A solution containing 0.2 moles of ferric chloride is allowed to react with 0.24 moles of sodium hydroxide. The correct statement for this reaction is, first of all, try to write the reaction, whatever he is talking. He is talking that ferric chloride, FeCl3 reacts with sodium hydroxide to give ferric hydroxide plus NaCl. So what is the balanced equation? 1 mole of ferric chloride reacts with 3 moles of sodium hydroxide to give 3 moles of NaCl. This is the balanced equation. But what he has given, he said that 0.2 moles of ferric chloride is reacting with 0.24 moles of sodium hydroxide. So from this, first of all, you need to identify the limiting reagent. If you want to identify the limiting reagent, you need to calculate the which is present in less quantity. For that, you need to divide this given moles with the stoichiometric coefficient. So if you want to identify the limiting reagent, in order to identify the limiting reagent, divide the given moles with the stoichiometric coefficient. What is the stoichiometric coefficient of this one? So 2.1 upon 1, and this will be 0.2 upon 1 and 0.24 upon 3, which comes to be what? 0.08. That means how many moles of sodium hydroxide is present in the mixture? 0.08 moles. So what is the limiting reagent? The sodium hydroxide is limiting reagent. That means how many moles of ferric hydroxide will be formed? Right? How many moles will be formed? If it is 0.08 moles, it will form 0.08 moles only. Right? It will form 0.08 moles of ferric hydroxide. Right? How many moles of ferric chloride might be utilized? 0.08 moles. Right? That means how many moles might be unreacted? Total 2 moles are there. 0.2 moles are there. If 0.08 moles are reacted, how many moles of FeCl3 left? It will be equal to 0.12 moles. Now let us see these statements. Limiting reagent for the reaction is any of which, because it is present in less quantity. And excess reagent will be ferric chloride. 0.08 moles of FeP, 0.03 moles of ferric hydroxide is formed, because it will decided by the number of moles of sodium hydroxide which is present. How many moles here it is? 0.08 moles, right? So 0.12 moles of ferric chloride is left unreacted. See, out of 0.2 moles, only 0.08 moles is being consumed by sodium hydroxide. So how many moles will be left? 0.12 moles. So all the statements are correct from the given reaction. Now this reaction, first of all, you need to identify the limiting reagent. Methane on combustion gives carbon dioxide plus water. As per this reaction, if 20 ml of methane is and 20 ml of carbon dioxide are exploded together, and if the reaction mixture is cooled to room temperature, the resulting gases mixture will have a volume of. So try to interpret the data. He has given an equation that methane on reaction with 2 moles of oxygen gives 1 mole of carbon dioxide plus 2 moles of water. Right? Here, what is the molar ratio? 1 mole will react with 2 moles and gives 1 mole. When you cool room temperature, what happens? This water will convert it into liquid. And carbon dioxide room temperature will remain gaseous state. Oxygen will remain in gaseous state. So as per the equation, he said that 20 ml of methane is exploded with 20 ml of oxygen. As per the balanced equation, what we can say, 20 ml of oxygen, because the molar ratio is 1:2, 20 ml of oxygen reacts with 10 ml of methane. 10 ml of methane. That is, how many ml of carbon dioxide is formed? Hence, 10 ml of carbon dioxide is formed, and how many ml of methane is unreacted? 10 ml of, if 20 ml is taken, if 10 ml is being consumed, how many ml will be left? 10 ml of CH4 is left unreacted. So when you cool this reaction to the room temperature, this water will be condensed into liquid. So what are the gaseous mixtures that are present at the room temperature? The gaseous mixture contains 10 ml of carbon dioxide and 10 ml of methane. So total will be how much it is? 20 ml of, what is this? 20 ml of gaseous mixture will be present. 20 ml of gaseous mixture of, what is this? Carbon dioxide and methane will be present. So the answer will be the 20. Hope it is clear. From this balanced equation we are making, if 1 mole reacts with 2 moles, right? 20 ml required 40 ml. But how many ml of oxygen is there? 20 ml only there. If 20 ml of oxygen is there, only 10 ml of methane will undergo reaction. If 10 ml of methane undergo reaction, only 10 ml of carbon dioxide will be formed. If 10 ml of carbon dioxide is formed, in the gaseous mixture there will be 10 ml of methane plus 10 ml of carbon dioxide. Total together will be 20 ml of gaseous mixture will be present. Hope this clear.